Hi there, Nick Watts here for We Love Betting. I've been on a bit of a roll recently. I've got 9 out of 9 for the last 3 weeks at Premier League tipping, so I'm feeling a little proud of myself and was feeling almost a little bit smug until I looked at this week's coupon, which is like running into a brick wall, quite frankly. Where last week I felt confident looking at it for that 3 weeks out of 3, and indeed it delivered. I have to say, this is one of the toughest ones for weeks, so I'll hold my hands up now. No excuses. I'm still looking for 3 winners, and I've dug out some decent stats, some decent bets, and I'm hopeful of at least a couple of winners in there. Let's hope the hot form continues. First up, I'm going for Stoke against Sunderland, the two prolific drawers of the Premier League so far. 5 of 8 for Stoke, 5 of 7 for Sunderland so far, and you can see why these teams are drawing so often. It's purely because they're struggling for goals. I've talked a lot this season about Stoke's struggles away from home scoring goals, but overall they just haven't really been finding the net with the kind of consistency that they'd like, I'm sure. Stoke 8 goals in 8 games. Sunderland it's 6 in 7. So you can see why unders is 4-6 here in this game. It seems like a really safe play, but it's just a tiny bit too skinny for me at the end of the day. I wondered whether the draw is a decent bet, bearing in mind their track record so far. You're talking about 12-5 here for two teams that have almost, made an art out of it. You think of Sunderland, even against 10-man Newcastle for a long spell, didn't really look like scoring. Got the goal in the end, of course, in the derby there. But my feeling is that neither team really has the creative sparks to make this a goal feast. And with that, I just think the draw becomes that much more likely. So at a price like 12-5, I'm willing to take a punt. Next up, I'm going for Reading against Fulham. I'm going the opposite way in this one. I think there will be goals here. Reading, the bad news, of course, is they're yet to win. They've conceded in every game so far. The good news is they have scored in each of their 3 home games so far. So they've shown some ability going forward, and I would expect both teams to score here. We know about Fulham's away record. Yeah, as a result, I can't really trust them to get the job done here, even at 8-5 against a Reading side that's clearly struggling a little bit to adapt to the division. But I do think we can trust in goals. It's a shades of odds on for over 2.5 at around sort of 6-7, the bizarre price that I've seen kicking around this Wednesday evening as I record. 100% of Fulham away games. 100% of Fulham away games have seen those 3 or more goals. Last week's home game against Aston Villa actually broke the trend of 100% of all their games seeing over 2.5 goals. So I'm expecting a few to flow here, at least a 2-1 either way, and just shades of odds on. I think that's a decent bet. Just finally then, I'm moving on to Sunday, and I have to say this third pick was a toughie. I'm picking up on Everton-Liverpool. I had to say if it was a full-strength Everton, I would be really, really tempted by the 19-20 draw no bet about them. Bearing in mind at Goodison, they've won 9 of their last 11 games against all opposition. Bit of a hoodoo against them in this fixture, of course. They've not won it since 2006. So Liverpool really had the edge. We know about Liverpool. They're not exactly free scoring at the moment. Yep, they dug out that win against Reading, and credit to them for that. Obviously had that storming performance against Norwich, but otherwise not really impressed this season. I think a lot of Liverpool fans have agreed with me on Twitter and have said that they're consistently too short every week. And for me, if they're up against a full strength Everton side, I'd be willing to take them on again. But the doubts over Fellaini, which I'm sure will become clearer as the week goes on. Pienaar suspended, very harsh red cards, but nonetheless, he will be missing from this game. Obviously, not allowed to appeal the 2 yellows. So, I think Everton missing his creative spark could mean that we see quite a tight affair here. I mean, I think most of the games over the years have been pretty close. 8 of 11 have gone under 2.5 goals, and that's available at 19-20. I just think, as I say, with that creative spark of Pienaar missing, potentially Fellaini as well, Liverpool a little bit off colour. Their goal scoring records I could quote you, but generally skewed by that performance at Norwich, when Norwich defensively just didn't really turn up, and Suarez scored an excellent hat trick. And so for me, under 2.5 in this one at 19-20. So just to recap then, I'm going for Stoke and Sunderland to draw a chunky 12-5, bearing in mind how many games they've drawn so far. I'm going for Reading and Fulham to produce the goals over 2.5 here, around the sort of 6 to 7 mark, strangely enough. And Everton and Liverpool, that to be a low scoring affair, under 2.5 goals at 19-20. Good luck this weekend. Let's hope for 4 out of 4, shall we?